Good morning everybody. I thought we could spend the day together today. It's about 9 a.m. I normally wake up at 7 a.m. and I've already sort of done like my full morning routine, which I have done a morning routine video really recently, so I don't really want to like repeat all of that, but I've done my stretching, I've done my French, I've read some of my book, I've been very productive. I've just made myself a strawberry matcha, which also has protein collagen powder in, and this is honestly a game changer. I don't really get that hungry in the mornings, but I've noticed if I don't have like protein in the morning, I always have that 3 p.m. crash. So this obviously is matcha, which gives you a little bit of caffeine, but also protein is really what's keeping me energized recently. And yeah, this one's also got collagen in it, which is good for your like skin and hair health as well. I remembered to put my ice roller in the fridge last night, so that's what I'm going to start by doing, is just like icing my face. I feel like it's been really puffy at the moment, so I'm just going to put my ice roller. I've also been watching Apple Martin's Vogue Beauty Secrets video, which honestly I feel like is really refreshing. I didn't really know, obviously I know her mum, but I've never really known her, and she was talking all about like acne. Like, it's really nice when people are really realistic about skin. I don't really want to go too much into my skincare routine because I feel like that's what I've been doing in a lot of my videos recently, and I've been just using the same sort of products. Plans for today, honestly, it's like a really chilled day. I am going to the cinema later to see Wuthering, which I'm really looking forward to, but the rest of the day we're spending at home, and I just thought I could take you guys along with me of like what I do as a uni student and also like a content creator. I've been loving using the Road Glazer Mist as like just like a little extra hydration. It always makes me feel like really fancy. But my SPF, I think I'm just going to go in with a tinted SPF today. This is the one from e.l.f. It's the Halo Glow one, and it just like gives a little bit of colour as well because I am quite pale at the moment. Obviously it's winter. Also sort of been forgetting to use SPF, but I feel like especially on like days I don't need to wear like full makeup, I feel like just like a nice tinted SPF is really nice. I'm gonna pop on a little bit of mascara as well, then my lip balm. I feel like I'm just going to leave it like that for now because I am going to do more makeup when I go out later today. But I'm going to start by doing a little bit of a Pilates session. I actually injured my foot like a couple weeks ago and it still really hurts. So I'm sort of like taking things a little bit lightly. I've also been trying to do some weights as well because I also really want to like improve on my strength. But yeah, nothing really drastic. I just like to get a little bit of exercise in when I can. I get changed into my Pilates outfit and then we can do a little bit of a light workout together. Back into my pajamas because honestly this is literally what I wear around the house all day. These are the Primark Boyfriend pajamas as well, and they are so comfortable. I've also made myself my breakfast, which I've been loving having a low-fat Greek yogurt at the moment, and I've just got like a bit of granola. Normally I have like raspberries or strawberries with it, but I've actually run out, so I've gone for banana today, a bit of coconut, pumpkin seeds and a drizzle of honey. For my probiotics I take every morning, I don't really know why I got these ones. I think it was just because they are gummy ones. These are also specifically for women as well, and they've got cranberry extract and calcium in them, so health and also intimate health. I think they were like the #1 rated one on Amazon. Take these biotin supplements as well, which are meant to be good for your hair and your skin. I think I'm going to listen to a podcast with my breakfast because I've been really like enjoying listening to podcasts at the moment. I feel like normally I do it like when I'm like walking or driving. I normally have like when I work on a Saturday I have 2 hours without customers, so I've always got my headphones in and listen to some sort of podcast. My favorites at the moment are a run through with Vogue. I feel like that just like catches me up on all the latest like things going on in the celebrity world with fashion, and I really enjoy watching that. I really like the Sheer Lux podcast as well because again it just like catches me up with everything that is going on. I'm gonna find a podcast to listen to whilst I eat my breakfast.
was like, this is the version of the movie that the 4
Rise
times.
of Gemma, do you have
We love.
favorite parts of the movie?
Was a character. I just on the couple having
That's the
sex.
hottest scene.
Oh, there were like specific moments that I loved. I do think that those.
On my day out today using my digital planner, I've got to do some of my uni work now, which is low-key kind of boring, so I don't really know how much of it I will film. I've got to do a couple bits from L'Oreal as well, watch a few like videos, competition with them, which I'm really looking forward to. So I've got to do a few bits towards that. So basically this is sort of like the boring part of my day.
A year ago I started a new activity, that is to say, second one is a good storytelling. Communicate with the customer. And finally, we will see that storytelling is a communication technique. Really understand everything about the function of the perfume in very different ways. Where else
So I just finished doing my uni work, and I also did the L'Oreal thing, which is actually really interesting. It was all about like branding and like storytelling for a fragrance or a perfume. I found it so interesting. I literally made so many notes. Now I'm going to work on my magazine, which if you guys don't already know, I feel like I talk about this in most of my vlogs, but I've started doing a magazine called Gloss and Glam over on Pinterest. I have also now created a TikTok and Instagram for it as well. So if I remember, I will leave that down below or on screen if you guys wanted to follow it. It's basically my dream to have like a really aesthetic girly magazine, sort of like Vogue, but making it more aesthetic. And I would love to do like a physical copy. I do know that nowadays like magazines aren't such a big thing. Vogue are actually reducing their prints to 8 a year, and I know a lot of other magazines are doing that as well. But I personally still love a physical magazine, but obviously I do know it's like also really bad for the planet. But I don't know, I just really want like a girly sort of space, basically like what I do on this channel, but like more like sort of like advice and stuff like that. And yeah, I've been finding it really fun to make these magazines. I'm currently doing the March edition. I also need to do a couple of like TikTok or Instagram posts as well for that, and then I've also got a little bit of editing to do for my personal TikTok as well. Yeah, that is the plan. That's the next thing on the to-do list. To give you guys some book recommendations. One of my goals for this year has been to learn more about fashion. Even if I wasn't to get like a career in fashion, I just find it really interesting, really fascinating. I feel like I've been taking more care and thought into my own personal style and like putting outfits together. I've been watching all the runway shows. It's currently New York Fashion Week at the moment. I love like the culture of fashion and like the creativity of it. So I've currently been reading some fashion books that I wanted to recommend to you guys, because even if you don't want to like learn loads about fashion, like these aren't really technical books. I just think they're really interesting. They're very girly, and if you're sort of like looking for something new to read, I feel like sometimes I get really bored of the same genre, and I feel like I've read so many romance books that I quite like more of like a non-fiction one every so often. So I wanted to give you guys some book recommendations. The book that I currently am reading is The Little Book of Dior, which I actually have read before. These are really nice because they're quite short books, like you can read these in a couple of days. There's a lot of like imagery as well, and they do these for like every well-established fashion house. So I think I've also got the Valentino one, but yeah, I do want to read a couple more of those ones as well. But Dior is probably one of my favorite fashion houses. I feel like the Dior shows are really good. So yeah, that's the one I got. I'm going to talk about the recent couture Chanel show with like all like the mushrooms. It felt really like Alice in Wonderland. Honestly, like that is definitely one of my favorite shows that I've ever watched. It was so magical. If you don't know what I'm talking about, literally go onto YouTube and Google it, because again, even if you're not like a real fashion girly, I feel like you're gonna love this show. It was so creative and it literally felt like you were in Alice in Wonderland. It's a really good book. I believe I got this from TK Maxx. Coco Chanel can teach you about fashion, and it's basically like the history of Coco Chanel, the brand Chanel, and I just find it really fascinating. And we've got any of the Megan Hess books. This one is The Little Black Dress, and it's all about like the history of the little black dress books. I've also read her one on Marilyn Monroe. I've got the Grace Kelly one behind me as well. I want to get her books, like she does them on like specific designers and also like specific locations. So she's got like one on Paris, on London, New York. So there's definitely a lot of her books that are on my wish list. But yeah, she does these gorgeous illustrations. They're so nice. I think I've got one on my bedroom wall as like a print, but it also gives you like the history and it tells like a story as well. Again, it's like a really easy read. Like I could probably read this in one sitting. I've got the Little Dictionary of Christian Dior. This basically just goes through like every sort of like fashion garment and clothes and just like gives you the dictionary. And I think if you want to get into fashion, I think this is a really great starting piece. Again, I think it's like a really beautifully designed book with like lots of imagery as well. So I'd let you guys know a couple of the books I'm reading at the moment. I always love getting new book recommendations, and I think these are perfect because even if you're not like a big reader, they aren't massive books either. So I've just done a little bit of light makeup, pop on some of this Daisy. This is their new like ballet core collection. A paid advertisement, but they did actually really kindly send this to me, and I just think it's like the prettiest palette. They sent me 3 of them, and they are all so pretty, but this one's my favorite because it's like really cute and pink. You can use it as eyeshadow, blush or highlight, and if you guys know me, I'm a big highlight sort of girl. Like I feel like that's my favorite step in my makeup routine is my highlight. So I really love using this just sort of like on the top of my cheekbones and also like in the corners of my eyes, just to like brighten them ever so slightly. I'm not actually too sure what I'm going to wear for Everyman Cinema, which honestly normally when I go to the cinema I like to be really cozy, like not necessarily pajamas but really like nice like lounge wear. But I feel like the Everyman Cinema always feels like you need to like dress up a bit, like it's a lot more posher. And yeah, I don't know if it's the sort of place you can wear like trackies to, but at the same time I don't really want to be sitting watching a film in my jeans. I think this like Maybelline Glaze, I think it's a lipstick oil balm, and yeah, it just sort of like elevates your lips a little bit. I think it's also like meant to plump them ever so slightly. I do normally get quite dry lips in the winter, so I sort of like try and stay a little bit away from lipsticks, but I do just like to add a little bit of colour. Watching the Ralph Lauren runway whilst I've been doing my makeup. I honestly love the music for this show. I feel like that's always something that I really love about the shows, is like the background music. Go for my Sticky Date body mist spray because this honestly smells so good. Like it's so like nice and like gourmet and like edible. I'm still obsessed with it. So choose an outfit and then I'll show you guys what I'm wearing. I'm actually really excited. I don't even know if I've mentioned, but we're watching Wuthering Heights and its premieres today. Every intention of reading the book before we see it, and yeah, that just didn't happen. I literally read, I'm not even gonna lie, I read the first 2 pages and it just wasn't a bit of me. I would love to be one of those girls that can read like all this classic literature, but I mean I love Little Women and that's literally as far as it goes. I did actually read Pride and Prejudice this year actually, but I don't know, I'm just not really a massive fan of the classics. But watching the film is going to be like a completely different experience, and Jacob Elordi's in it, and yeah, I'm just really excited. I feel like there's been a lot of hype around this movie. I know it's not going to be exactly based on the book either. It's more of like an interpretation, but I am really looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm going to go pick out an outfit.